World's Strongest Man, Mitchell Hooper here, and today I'm going to take you through the 5 stages of training and what you need to do for the stage that you're at, from NARP, or non-athletic regular person, gym novice, all the way through to pro. This is going to be in 5 stages, and we're going to talk about what you should do for recovery, for your workouts, nutrition, and your lifting equipment. I will cover that for every single stage, and you can determine for yourself what you need to do and what you need to focus on. So let's start off with NARP. For me, this is in your first year of serious training at the gym. If you dabbled 10 years ago, if you did a bit in high school, if you've taken a long period of time, you're starting back at this stage. Now, I'm using this roughly. Some people progress faster, some a little bit slower, but generally speaking, for your first year of training, this is what you should focus on. In terms of recovery, all you need to focus on is sleeping well. Okay, the sleep before 12 o'clock is more valuable than the sleep after 12 o'clock. A cool room, not having your phone with you, a quiet room, 100% dark are the most important things. Outside of that, don't worry about any extra recovery devices, methods, time, energy, or money. When it comes to your workouts, you should train as hard as you can tolerate. If you listen to people in the strength world at my level, we always talk about leaving reps in the tank. This does not apply to you. Your nervous system is still figuring out how to do the movement, and it's important to work close to your failure so your brain can connect to your body and determine exactly how you should be moving. You should do sets of 8 or more. Anything less than that is going to be too intense and too heavy for you at this stage. We need to get not only your active tissue, your muscle ready to move weight, we need to get your soft tissue ready as well, and that's going to take some time. Sets of 8 plus will also allow you to practice a lot more with that increased volume compared to hitting something like a 1 rep max. Lastly, you should vary your movements every 4 to 6 weeks so that in this first year of training, you're exposed to as many different movements as possible. But on the other side, you don't want to vary your movements every week because your body is in this learning phase and it's going to take a while to be proficient in these lifts. Be patient with yourself. It takes time for everyone. The number one do not for your workouts is do some sort of unsustainable routine. Do not get up at 4 in the morning to go to the gym. Do not do things that you don't enjoy. Don't do anything that you don't see yourself doing for the next 5 to 10 years. With nutrition, you should focus on having protein in every meal and monitoring your body weight. Whether you want it to go up or go down, you should just have a general awareness of when you eat X foods, X happens to your body weight. Okay, don't rely on how you look. That is very difficult to perceive on a day-to-day basis. Unless you take progress pictures, you won't even know month to month. Do not, with supplementation, take anything outside of creatine, pre-workout, and whey isolate. For me, I get that all through Mutants. I'll pop that link down in the description, but do not worry about anything outside of that. That is all you really need to focus on at this stage. And frankly, that's all that 95% of people need to focus on to get the most from their workouts. For lifting equipment, the only thing that I would say a novice needs is lifting straps. Otherwise, your hands will be the limiting factor on any pull movements and any deadlift. You are doing no service to yourself by having your grip fail on a full body posterior chain movement. Throw on some straps and get from that movement what you should. Do not buy belts, sleeves, supportive equipment, wraps, anything like that in your first year of training. You're still learning how to move. We don't want you to learn how to move with any sort of extra support or extra assistance. This takes us to novice, and this is going to be in year 1 to 2. For your recovery, you should sleep well and minimize life stress in your high intensity workout times. Your training will be structured so that you will build into a more difficult part of your training, difficult few weeks. In those times, figure out ways to minimize your life stress. Do not feel the need to do ice baths, saunas, massage, any sort of preventative physiotherapy, red light therapy in your first year or 2 of training. It is over the top and not necessary. For your workouts, you should always be leaving 2 or 3 reps in the tank. This is contrasted to a novice who can work to failure and be okay. You should not jump from program to program. You should trust one person or one source with your workouts for an extended period of time. You won't know if you're actually improving for 12 to 16 weeks when you start a new program. So stick with it and trust whatever process it is. If I'm the person you trust, I'll put the link down to my programs and my education down in the description below. But there are many, many people who put out high quality programs that you could follow. With nutrition, you should monitor your macros and you should focus on sustainability. Gain an awareness is what I'm looking for here. Do not track every bite of food you take through MyFitnessPal. It's not sustainable and it's not going to work for you. You should create regular meals for breakfast and lunch and allow dinner to be more flexible. And you should eat whole foods at least 70% of the time. The rest can be made up with supplementation and quote unquote junk foods or cheating foods. You should not worry about micronutrients at this stage. Just worry about eating whole food 70% of the time. And in the Western developed world, it's very rare we run into any meaningful micronutrient deficiency. Worry about that down the track. You should not take any supplements outside of creatine, whey, or pre-workout still in your first 2 years of training. For lifting equipment, I would add into lifting straps that we already got in the novice stage, and I would add sleeves. Both knee sleeves and elbow sleeves can make a massive difference to your joints. A little bit of support, a little bit of comfort. It's hard to describe, but once you start using sleeves, it's very hard to go back from it. At this stage, do not use a belt yet. Belts do help with your core strength and they do help build that musculature, but I want you to develop your own awareness of your body unsupported, unequipped for the first couple of years of training. This takes us to intermediate, and this is the longest stage in my opinion. This takes you from year 2 to year 4 of serious training. When it comes to your recovery, you should now invest in your sleep. Spend some money on whatever it is that can make your sleep the highest quality. I have a wedge pillow where I can put my arm through so I don't hurt my shoulder. I have a temperature controlled body pillow. It looks like a big pregnancy pillow. I have a fan beside my bed. I have a mattress, more expensive than I care to admit, all to make sure that my sleep is the highest possible quality. I would also encourage you at this stage to minimize life stress at all times. It's a great principle for everyone and you can only do your best, but anything that you can do to make your life less stressful, if you're serious about improving, you should be doing at this stage. Lastly, you should have one extra recovery tool that you try out. And for me, there are 3 that are well established in the literature to help you with your recovery and your performance. This is massage, red light therapy, and nootropics. Choose one of those 3, give it a try, and see how it works for you. When it comes to recovery in the intermediate stage, do not spend more than half an hour per day. It is not required. You are not close enough to your genetic potential to need to spend any sort of excessive time focusing on your recovery. For your workouts as an intermediate, this is the stage where you do need to periodize your training and you can't focus on pure strength year round. This is also the time where establishing 1 rep maxes is now appropriate. Your body will have learned how to move and you can do this at times. But for 80+% of the year, you should leave at least 2 in the tank so that you don't burn out your nervous system. You should not, in the intermediate stage, push your strength gains year round, and you should not ignore the benefit of hypertrophy-based training. This is very hard when you're trying to get strong to accept that there's going to be times of year that you're not going to be as strong, but you're going to try to build some muscle. Ultimately, cross-sectional area of muscle is what's going to contribute to your strength, and it is highly correlative. How thick is your muscle and how much weight can that muscle move? During times of year, make your muscles thicker and you will benefit at the other times of year. For nutrition, you should eat 5 or more times a day and walk 10 minutes after each meal. You should also have a minimum of 80% of high quality food and 20% of supplements or cheat meals. At the intermediate stage for nutrition, you should not eat junk calories and you should not allow your body fat to get over 25%. And when I say don't eat junk calories, I mean without some careful consideration. Of course, at times you might eat ice cream or candy or pizza or whatever, but it should not be any part of your daily routine. This should be an exception to the rule. For your lifting equipment in the intermediate stage, now we are going to add a belt, and this is 2 years of serious training. Find a good quality belt. I just released one with Service. We'll put that one in the description below. And I have all these links because these are the things that I believe in, not because I'm trying to pitch them to you. Many companies make great lifting belts. There are soft belts, there are hard belts. Just get some sort of support for your back so that your core is not the weak link in the chain for multi-joint movements. You should not use supportive equipment yet. I'm talking about deadlift suits or squat suits, and you should not use any sort of elbow wrap or knee wrap in the first 4 years of training, in my opinion. This takes us to advanced, and this is year 4 to 5. For recovery as an advanced lifter, you should establish a daily practice to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. This is anything that makes you feel relaxed. It could be going for a walk. It could be meditation. It could be yoga. It could be sex and masturbation. Whatever works for you to make you feel relaxed and feel good. You should be investing in your sleep, as do intermediates. You should minimize your life stress at all times, and you should establish 2 of these extra recovery principles of red light, nootropics, and massage. Choose 2 and make that a part of your weekly routine. You should not spend more than 45 minutes a day on your recovery as an advanced lifter, and you should not have recovery stress you for time. If you're a busy person, and I'm telling you do 2 of those 3 things, and those 2 things tend to make you rush around during the day, we're working against ourselves. Your sympathetic system will be taking over because you're stressed, and you should just reduce the amount of recovery time that you're spending, and you will actually recover better for that. For your workouts as an advanced lifter, you should establish proper macro cycles with pointed goals for each block of training. You should push to failure once every 6 to 10 weeks for strength. Now, that's outside of your hypertrophy-based blocks, which are going to be heavily focused on going to failure, but in safer single joint movements that are focused more on bodybuilding than compound strength training. You should, as an advanced lifter, peak your strength more than once every 12 weeks. You should not try a 1 rep max any more than once every 3 months. For your nutrition, you should have a nutrition plan written by a professional at this stage, and you should ensure your macros are hit and your micros are considered. They don't need to be perfect, but they do need to be some sort of consideration. You should get regular blood work at this stage and get your supplementation tailored to you on the back end. This is for your micronutrients so you don't run into any deficiencies while you're pushing your body close to your genetic potential. For your nutrition at this stage, you should not try to figure it out by yourself as you did in every previous stage, and you should not allow yourself to go without a sounding board. Even if you're well educated, you should have a person who you can go to for advice that doesn't have anything to do with how much you love pizza and ice cream and nothing to do with anything about your emotions. It's just pure nutritional advice. For lifting equipment at this stage, I do support wearing supportive equipment after year 4. This is your deadlift suits, your squat suits, your bench shirts, whatever it is that you want to try. I think this is an appropriate time to try that. But I don't believe you should be using supportive equipment for more than 1/3 of the year as an advanced lifter. And finally, we're on to pros. This is 5+ years of training. You're getting close to your genetic potential. And if you want to continue to progress at any sort of substantial rate, you need to put a lot of time and dedication into the gym, into your training to make sure you're doing everything you can. That means for recovery, you're going to modify your work and outside obligations to ensure you have the time for recovery. As an advanced lifter, I said, don't let recovery stress you for time. And now I'm saying, if recovery stresses you for time, modify the other things in your life to allow recovery to continue to happen. Now, what is recovery? Well, that's investing in your sleep, 8 hours a day minimum. I would recommend 9 to 10 for most athletes. That means minimizing your life stress always and establishing a weekly routine for massage, for red light, and for nootropics. That being said, if you spend more than 1 hour a day on recovery, you are off the charts and out of your mind. 30 minutes is plenty for most pros. Most people have been around for 5+ years, and this includes your stretching and your massage and your physiotherapy and everything. Average 30 minutes a day or 4 hours-ish a week, 3.5 hours a week, maximum. That is all you need to be doing unless you're injured. For your workouts, you should not train into pain, you should not chase short-term results, and you should not fail any strength-based lifts in the gym. As a pro, your workout should focus on planning for the entire year and at what times of year would you like to be strong, muscular, powerful, etc. You should focus as much on long-term progression and building skill and muscle as you do on building your strength. And you should find the best environment to make sure you can establish your long-term process. This could be a commercial gym that you really like. It could be a strength gym. It could be a bodybuilding gym. Wherever you find positive motivation, where you feel like you're encouraged and you're excited to succeed in the gym, as opposed to negative motivation where you're intimidated and you're worried about messing things up. For your nutrition, you should have a consistent meal plan that you follow every single day. This should be regular foods. It does not have to be 100% clean, but it should be intentional, thought out, and programmed. You should not, with your nutrition, feel the need to cycle your carbs or your calories based on your training day. We do not burn that much energy as strength athletes. Don't overcomplicate your life. And you should not focus more on your nutrition than you do on your training or you do on your recovery. Now, nutrition is a part of recovery, but you don't want to spend more time thinking about what you eat than thinking about how you train. Lastly, for lifting equipment, You are welcome to use anything at this stage, of course, to help your training. But since you are closer to your genetic potential, and ultimately your body can only adapt so much, we go from 1/3 of the year in supportive equipment as an advanced lifter to 1/4 of the year in supportive equipment as a pro. Personally, there are only 1 or 2 times a year that I'll actually have lifting equipment, supportive equipment, deadlift suits in my training on a regular basis to protect the rest of my body. It is said that lifting equipment keeps you safer. That is categorically untrue. For the same weight, yes, it will keep you safer because your exertion is lower and you're more in control of the weight. But very rarely do you see someone put on supportive equipment and start doing the same workout loads that they did before they were wearing the equipment. Often, you're deadlifting 600 pounds, you put on a deadlift suit, now you're deadlifting 660 pounds. Well, your whole body has to be ready for that extra 60, and sometimes it isn't. That is my advice, taking you from NARP to pro in 5 stages, focusing on your recovery, your workouts, your nutrition, and your lifting equipment. I would love to know if you guys agree, what you got from this video, or if you disagree, pop that down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. As pro always, lift heavy, be kind. The merch link is down in the description and in the YouTube shop. If you want to support the channel, that would be much appreciated. Until tomorrow, lift heavy and be kind.